Today's First Five, I want to talk with you about the rally President Trump held in Louisiana last night. President Trump addressed, again, a massive sold-out crowd in a big venue. And as usual, his energy the entire time was just kind of, it's just an amazing thing to behold. His ability to be high energy day after day, so often with numerous events in one day. But yesterday he addressed something that relates to the whistleblower whose alleged whistleblower complaint supposedly launched the entire impeachment effort in Washington. And we've talked about this whistleblower before. He hasn't been formally identified. He's been identified, and I've said his name on the show before, but he's still supposedly anonymous. And the whistleblower was the one who supposedly was concerned about the conversation between President Trump and the Ukrainian President Zelensky in July of this year. And this whistleblower just thought this was a horrible thing, and then there was wrongdoing, quid pro quo, whatever. He went through a whole long blather. As it turned out, the whistleblower wasn't even there, didn't hear the conversation, and Trump surprised the left and the media by putting the entire transcript of the conversation out, which makes clear that Trump didn't really say anything wrong. Yet Congress, ongoing on this whistleblower's complaint, have launched now. Actually, Monday, they're saying, starting next week, they're going to have the official beginning of open impeachment hearings. And so the left is intent on this. And this, remember, started from the supposed whistleblower's complaint. So I want to ask Matt, the very wonderful producer, to bring up, if he could, this clip of President Trump. It's a little bit lengthy, like 3 minutes or whatever, 2 or 3 minutes, from his speech in Louisiana at the rally last night. I want to talk to you why it's so significant, but play it if you would.
But Democrats must be accountable for their hoaxes and for their crimes. Now, corrupt politicians, Nancy Pelosi, and shifty Adam Schiff and the crooked media have launched the deranged, delusional, destructive, and hyper-partisan impeachment witch hunt. Now we go again. Except a lot of things have happened because, I don't know if you saw, I just got off, I'm coming off the plane, and they hand me, look at this character. Okay, they just hand me this story. Coup has started, whistleblower's attorney said in 2017. You know when that was? That was a long time ago. It's all a hoax. They say January 2017, a coup has started, and the impeachment will follow, ultimately. It's all a hoax. It's a scam. And you know who helps them? These people right back here, the media. And then it said, oops, the light's going to go off. The CNN light is going to go off. It said, from the lawyer, a sleazeball. It said, I predict at CNN will play a key role in @real Donald Trump not finishing out his first term. Can you believe this? This is and this was done a long time ago. Then he goes, as one falls, two more will take their place, referring to outgoing Trump administration employees who, by the way, have been put through hell by the sleaze back there and by crooked politicians.
Now, I have to tell you, folks, people who do not like President Trump are critical of his demeanor, his style of speaking, his aggressiveness, would listen to that clip and say, see what we mean? How could you support a president who speaks that way? He spoke in a rally at a national televised event, called a lawyer a sleazeball, called leading prominent Democrats in the U.S. House. He demeaned them, criticized them. But I have to tell you, it's why his followers and supporters love him. I want to really just hone in on why it's so important that he said what he said. The whistleblower came up with this story, which now you realize that Adam Schiff is saying, no, the whistleblower, he doesn't have to testify. He never has to be, his identity never has to be revealed. So he can be an anonymous, take down the president by a whistleblower complaint when he had nothing at all, no firsthand knowledge of any kind about the conversation. But what President Trump was pointing out in that rally is that the lawyer who is speaking to the media about the whistleblower, the lawyer is known, a guy named Mark Zaid, the attorney for this Ukrainian whistleblower guy. I hate to even give him the honor of calling him a whistleblower, because that's not really what he is. He really did not come across information being hidden and expose it. And certainly at this point, it's been exposed entirely. So this is just a partisan hack, a left-winger who, if it is who everyone thinks it is, has a long history of hating Trump and working with Biden and meeting ahead of time with Adam Schiff. But back to what Trump said at the rally. President Trump is pointing out that the attorney for the whistleblower was tweeting at the beginning of 2017, just as President Trump took office after winning the election in November 2016. President Trump is taking office, and this lawyer tweeted, the hashtag coup has started, hashtag impeachment will follow. He also, as you heard President Trump allude to, this lawyer for the whistleblower, tweeted, I predict at CNN will play a key role in at real Donald Trump finishing out his full term as president. We will get rid of him. The lawyer for the whistleblower tweeted in 2017, July of 2017, we will get rid of him, and this country is strong enough to survive even him and his supporters. So this lawyer, who's now supposedly doing the lawyer job representing the whistleblower, was out in early 2017 saying we're going to find a way to get rid of him. This is how you have to see the entire impeachment process. The impeachment process, as I've said in the show before, has nothing at all to do with President Trump and his conversation with Ukrainian President Zelensky or his entire relationship between President Trump and the U.S. and Ukrainian President Zelensky. The impeachment has nothing to do with our relationship or communications between President Trump and Zelensky. All it is about is the left wing of America, determined from the start, determined from the day that President Trump won the election, to find a way to get rid of him. This is why we had to go through the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. We had to go through the Mueller report. We had to go through the obstruction arguments. We had to go through the pole dancer payoffs. We had to go through all of these efforts to remove the president. Has nothing to do with questioning the president's conduct. Everything to do with trying to take him down. And interestingly, when this lawyer was confronted by Fox News saying, well, how do you answer this? You're obviously just a big anti-Trumper. He put a statement out. He said, in defense, this is the lawyer for the whistleblower, Mark Zaid, Z-A-I-D Zaid, put a statement out defending or explaining his tweets. He said, I was referring to a completely lawful process. Those tweets were reflective and repeated the sentiments of millions of people. He's saying millions of Democrats were mad that President Trump won the election, and I was just guaranteeing them we'll find a way to get rid of him. People, if the roles were reversed. Oh, one more thing about the rally. President Trump, his willingness to read those tweets during the rally, to call out this lawyer, to call out the whistleblower hack, to call out Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff. Of course, the people who dislike the president say it was so presidential, so unprofessional. You shouldn't talk that way. This is a guy, America chose a fighter. When they chose President Trump in 2016, they chose a fighter. They chose someone who was willing to identify the truly damaging policies that have been in place in Washington for decades, the truly damaging mindset in Washington that was the ruling elite rule, the people don't get to have their views listened to, the people are ignored, the ruling class marches on, and he called out the swamp, he called out the ruling elite, he laid out a plan, and he is actually executing on his plan as promised in the campaign. This is what is driving Washington crazy, because he's actually following through on what he said he would do, calling them out, embarrassing them, clearly embarrassing them. He's willing to point out the things they've done that are just egregious. No president has put up with what President Trump has put up with from the FBI, DOJ, CIA, anti-Trump cabal that went after him with the Russia hoax. It's been an extraordinary presidency thus far. His willingness to come on strong again, tell the American people this is ridiculous, and here's why. Ask yourself how many Americans would even know, that the whistleblower's lawyer was tweeting at the beginning of 2017, we're going to impeach this guy, we're going to find a way to get rid of him. None of us would know. It would be unknown. President Trump's calling that out, reading that tweet in the Louisiana rally last night was one of the many examples of President Trump being the fighter the American people chose to be president in 2016. And that, my friends, is today's First Five.